Okay, and we're live. And you can actually hear my voice this time. Can you believe it? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mastafran Art Stream. It's me, Mastafran, or at least the hand of Mastafran. Nice to meet you all. Glad to stop by the stream and welcome. Today is a traditional art stream, and I'm just going to be doing some marker art tonight, and yeah, just getting things going with I guess just tackling some new stuff. It's been a nice night. It's a nice Wednesday afternoon. Currently Wednesday, what's it, April 24th? 4/24/24. Pretty fun, isn't it? I've been pretty good. I need to move this. I've been pretty decent. Had a okay day at work. And I guess I've kind of just felt slightly burned out on the computer, so kind of just tackling some new bristle board stuff just to get things going. And I'd say today I'm going to be probably inking some pencil art that I haven't been working on. I believe I'll be working on this. Gotta nudge the light a little bit more so you can see it better. So, I'm going to be inking this piece. Oh man, I think I blew out the mic. Oh well. But yeah, I'll be inking this piece while also might do a short marker setup to kind of just talk about maybe just the long and short basics of maybe working with Copic markers. It's mostly just me messing about, kind of just looking around for just cool ideas to, leftover art that I've been doing, and just diving through just weird pieces of Bristol board that I've been doing. This sheet piece has kind of just been in my background here. Nice Scotch idea for a sheep, and have some blue lines. The one thing that kind of sucks about me is I keep drawing art as blue line everything and never finish it. This was an interesting piece with Olivia the Draco Knight, and ought to do some wacky things with her where she's basically a time-traveling dragon, where she's born in, the old medieval times, and then she's, still existing in the future as a teenager, still like with grunge and all that stuff. And I kind of just wanted to tackle that one day, but that is neither here nor there. Oh, here's a turnaround sheet I did, I think 3 weeks ago, back when I was working on back when I did that initial draft drawing. I just wanted to have an idea of like a draft NPC, so I could like work with this on a black mask. And I even got a pencil drawing of this draft guy. I still need to name him something. I'm not good with names, and that kind of just sucks about me. Let me move my water. Here's kind of just got so much stuff that's just on my desk. One thing that I gotta remember is clean up your desk. That's probably just the number one thing, is prepare your desk so you're actually ready to work. You have just so much stuff, have your supplies ready. Got 2 erasers. This is a typical white eraser. I forget what kind of eraser this is because it doesn't have the case. It's a simple white eraser, a simple plastic eraser that you can find on in Blick art supplies and stuff like that. Got my rubber eraser, which I actually prefer using over all the other stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's a drawing. I think this was a previous drawing I made before, or maybe after the Olivia sketch, where I'm figuring out some, like, I think I did this during mention where I was like, okay, so here's like child Olivia back in medieval times as like the it's a JRPG protagonist, and then she ends up as this like total edgelord 2001 guns a blazing, shoot everything, Rob Liefeld inspired character. The difference between Jack 1 and Jack 2. Come on, friends, let's band together and defeat the Dragon Lord. It's like, she in the second version of the future is like, alright, Shark Lord, you're gonna die like turtles fuck. Slow and loud. And like one of those silly things. What else? Other drawings I've sort of abandoned. Oh! This sketch, I believe this sketch was a reboot of maybe Shield Rebel. And I want to give her a better pose and have a little bit of a improvement. Just say, hey, I've improved somewhat. I think I'll tackle all as I go. Lights on. I wonder how well this light table actually works. And if this light table works well, I probably will need to ink that. Have the light table work in here. Looks pretty decent. Maybe ink this without. I see you. Kind. It's not as bright because it's bristlewood. Barely see this. Actually, that's kind of interesting that the light does that. I don't really use light tables that often, and it's kind of interesting, kind of just working with this. Now the bit rate's dying. Well, I'll let that pass. So yeah, let's get to just get to work. And since I'm I'm actually at my drawing desk, I'll actually use my actual inking brushes for once. So these are Winsor Newton series brushes, actual sable brushes. So yes, an animal died with this brush, and I think these are the last of the actual animal brushes. I think Winsor Newton's now just gone to sable brush, and that's it. Let's see. I got a sort of fake brush. I'll use a dynasty brush. This one's so synthetic, so it's more of a you could probably barely see it, but synthetic brush. But I use this more for spot blacks and washes. Really use it for actual liner stuff. Okay, I'm rocking my liquid test ink, which is really old. It's a typical carbon black ink, and I actually don't believe it's very light fast. It's acrylic ink, so it's not actual proper ink. I've got fountain pen ink, but it's not appropriate for actual dipping brushes, so I'm not that one. I also have the actual Blick waterproof India ink, but I use the bottles. I don't really use this at all because it's my newest bottle, and because I've been diving more into digital work and really use the bottle. But I want to use it to actually work on it here. Oh no, is the stream dying? Hope the stream's not dying. Now, let that roll, because the bit rate is 25218. That's fine. Anyway, let's get to doing some work here. Oh. Eraser. Also, I'm get my little handy dandy clips. Typical cloth, nice chunk cloth. And you don't really need to worry about, messes when you actually have a proper cloth here. Right there. For that cleanup. Out. Get you open. It's an easy. Fill this up. There we are. A nice vat of ink. I'll just have this at the side. I'll clean up the rim. And do this entire thing, I'll be happy. If not, that'll be that. Alright. Oh, crap. Oh, I forgot to do. I forgot to change this part. It's disgusting. It's so the last thing I inked. So let me step away for a few seconds while I get the ink going here. Alright, that's been filled. Refilled my water. I'm gonna constantly go over my tablet or canvas so much. There we are. Takes a bit to get ready, and I hearing me fluctuate down and stuff like that. But actually physically stand through ready. Not like me. I'm getting ready for just setting up or working. Good. Where's my oh, there it is. Okay. Wonder I could scrap paper. Just a sketchbook that I can just put my scrap strokes on. Oh yeah, scrap stroke book there to be my recorded color stuff, or whatever different paintings I use. I'll usually open up and look through this to be sure I know how the colors actually look on paper, and some color inking stroke studies to kind of just get things done with that and relearn inking. Probably need to do more studies again because I've been neglecting that. My gray marker stuff. Wheel fuckery experiments with the Black Mass logo. Process up. But yeah, my experiments with hollow markers. I still need to finish my pen stuff. Hey Gally, how's it going? Welcome to the stream and welcome to me getting ready to actually ink physically. So, getting myself right here and trying to get myself comfortable. Oh, thanks for the follow. I know you just started following. You stopped by. Yes, thank you very much. Welcome to the art stream. I'm here to do cool art stuff. So currently I am using my light tool to ink this. This is a wolf mage, a female wolf mage that I had. Stream is lagging. Oh no. Am I gonna have to like pause a little? Alright, let's see if I can yeah, well. Because the bit rate is 200 something. Let me see something real quick. Gotta look at it. Guys, plays like 10 seconds. Holy cow. Why are you delayed so long? What? The stream build. I think that's. But my computer started like lag hard too. I'm gonna have to restart this. Alright, I'm gonna pause the stream for a bit. I'll be your back. And I'm back. Hopefully that's a little bit more stable. Let's see. Bit rate is at 238. Hopefully that's slightly better. Boo boo boo. How's the hands going? Let's see. Hopefully that's better. Let's see. Bit rates on Twitch. 255. Bit rate still says it's unstable. That's interesting. I'll keep it up. And, if not, I'll let that go as needed. I'll have to figure out the stream technology some more, because it's like, just when you think you figured out your stream tech, there's always just one random surprise. So that's another typical thing with that. So, what I'll be doing is inking on this paper and using my light table to do so. That should be better. This is at its brightest. Good. So, this is probably the first time I'm actually using a light table ink, so this is going to be a tough prospect, but hopefully you'll bear with me. Get my chair as high as possible because I want to actually be working. You know what? I want my right hand working on this. All right. Chest strokes. Some S's. Get some practice in. And, of course, this stuff's completely blocked by my hand. Thank you for dealing with my ghetto AF stream lighting setup here. I'd have to figure out a way to kind of just get my lamp the other side or something so you can actually see it. Again, I don't really do traditional streams that often. But, this is a nice relaxing stream. It's a bit of me taking some time away from pixel art to just relax a little bit. I could probably just wing this where I could just wing the flames. That'll work. Nice and loose. It's a nice way to kind of just begin the warm-up is just go nuts with it. And basically, I am actually completely off the mark, but I'll get better with this. I'll let you go and kind of just go at it as I go here. So, in terms of learning how to ink, I think I originally started, I guess, in my inking journey, not really doing a lot of inking or really depending on pens to ink. So, I used to use more felt tip pens to do most of my inking. And then, I think a lot of the instruction booklets were like, oh hey, you gotta at least learn brush inking. And I first started with a Pentel pocket brush. And actually, Pentel pocket brush is here. Wait, no, this isn't it. Oh, I used a brush pen like this. This isn't the Pentel Pocket Brush. This is, I think, a Funasude pen. But, you know, basically, I had a portable brush. And that was how I got myself working with, you know, just brush inking. And you do end up making mistakes with it, but you also end up teaching yourself how to have a slightly lighter hand. And end up having more thicker strokes. The one thing that's interesting about using a light table is that your pencils, your inking's not as tight because you're basically interpreting your pencils. Hopefully, and this is mostly on the hope that I'll get some more, I guess, ink life out of it instead of being crazy precise. I'll be more, I guess my lines will be a little bit more lively. That's the hope. Of course, my stuff can get a bit blocky, so that's kind of the deal with that. We're gonna basically just get the basics of the fur here. And I think of the whole entire idea of the Wolf Mage's design is to kind of just emphasize the fur. That's one thing that I do want to do more with, I guess, my furry designs is actually emphasize the fur. Emphasize the fur and make sure that, you know, you have an actual hairy-ass wolf as opposed to, I guess, painted skin that I see in a lot of other furry art. It's kind of like, okay, if we're just gonna draw chicks with painted skin, you might as well just leave right now, because that's not gonna fly with me. And of course, to each their own. I'm not gonna completely dunk in everyone's preferences. As for all I know, it's probably a budget thing where it's like, okay, we can just knock out commissions way faster. I'm not gonna knock them for that. Okay. Kinda just looking hard at this and kinda just figuring out. Hairy ass, you say. Yeah, fluffy ass. Fuck yeah. If you were going to... that's gonna be a problem. I wonder if I could flip this so it's... This sort of works, but now I've got the wire digging in my stomach. But it is, the light table is occupying the entire body. If this art stops working out for you, you could always narrate ebooks. I could. I've been, yeah, a lot of people have told me that I have a good voice for narration, but it's like, what the heck could I actually narrate? I keep going to voice acting panels at conventions to kind of just find out how the fuck do you actually do this. And part one, voice acting requires acting knowledge. You should at least know how to act before you can voice act. So, you know, it's mostly a matter of like learning how to act. But of course, I'm a weird, awkward art guy, and I've never acted ever. Like, I'll probably make up maybe characters in my head and figure out the dialogue with that. But outside of that, I don't really act per se. Like, I've never like done any improv classes. Oh man, I'm letting my fro get in the way. I can see you narrating over footage of frogs made in a nature documentary. Oh yes, the Amazon cotton tree frog. And, see, I can't even improvise, you know, it's kind of just, you know, I can Yeah, again, I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm improvising, but what the heck do I improvise about? That's kind of the difficult thing with learning how to. Hmm. Is that an actual. Okay, one thing that kind of sucks about this light table is. Okay. There's a headband actually there. You know what? I'll just let that go, and then the headband will be up here. I think one thing that's kind of messing with me is the shadow of my hand is not helping with the light table. Let's see. So there. Is that eye actually working? There we are. And of course, I made a mistake here. I can always rectify that. Remember, happy little mistakes. Alright, let you go here. I am letting my hair get in the way again. Maybe I could nudge you closer. So whenever I get my face in there, you're seeing. Because yeah, whenever I'm drawing, I just tend to put my head just right in there because and just putting my head right in the paper because yeah, usually I'm just hunching and working at getting this to look a-okay. And so far so good. It's actually making this work, and it's actually looking quite different. This is me using a completely different technique when it comes to working with, I guess, my typical ink setup. Usually I would just ink straight on the pencils and I would erase all the pencils as if I inked this, but I'm like, you know what? Maybe this would save me erasing time. It's kind of funny. I probably could give her a throw right now. Like, I could probably take another piece of paper. This will work. Take another piece of paper. Maybe like do a fast tryout sketch. Ah, crap. This is the blue pencil. You can't see this. This will work. Pencil. Just use basically this template as the character. Have the ears here. Then I could probably just mess around with giving her a bit of a cool looking, probably a fluffy afro here. Or maybe I'll like give her the actual mess about, try to like give some shading and toning. Yeah, I should be doing this more often, But I'm more used to the canvas being tipped into me like this. But I've got the papers going. But yeah, it'd probably be like something along this lines. And work with that. Blend a bit. Okay. Try to rework the was that the right one? That's the one. Yeah, right here. Legs. This one's forward, this one's back. And even from just this start, I already have a duplicate character. I could even like rework a new, I'd probably like rework a new drawing where he probably has a second sword. And like working with this. How large could this sword be? It may have a second sword. And like fingers, thumb, or thumb here. What's it, the pommel? I think that's the end of the sword. Have this slight, give it a slight bit of depth. Boom. And buff the forearm just a wee bit. Bit of a bicep. Yeah, I could probably just work with that. Let's see, what's it? The hip bone and then the fat. Hip bone, fat. Boom. And I could probably like work off of this with like figure out something. And yeah, I mean, you can just bust out a fast sketch. So basically, I'm doing a layer system analog, just a basic. You go into Photoshop, you have like layer 1, and then you got layer 2, then you got layer 3, and I guess that's the power of a light table. Now, kind of just figuring out some little tricks with that. I don't even know what kind of an outfit she should wear. Maybe like full armor. They like have the I forget what the thigh armor is called. I know there's like a specific name for the thigh armor specifically. Let's just give her a high top because all the other wolves have the high top. Let's see. They like the cami. I forget what that cami unitard is. Do a cami unitard. Probably make the shoulders fluffy. I think I like that kind of pattern. That kind of pattern with I guess my design is. I tend to try to match the design of the hairstyle. Where okay, if you have a afro style fur, I try to emphasize the fur in other aspects of the character. Yeah, Hugh's persona. Honestly, no. It'd probably be more of a, it would probably be a lion, you know? I think Huey would probably have a lion. Or a panther. I'd peg Huey as more of a panther guy, because he's Huey. What would Riley be? That's a good question. What would Riley be? And I'm mostly like washing my brush because I don't want the acrylic to dry. Because one thing about acrylic brushes or acrylic ink is that it will dry real fast. I gotta be hella careful with that. I'll probably just work with that. And I'm not even doing anything super fancy when it comes to just pencil art stuff. Kind of just using the side of my black wing to just sketch it in. Oh yeah, Riley should be a snake. He would be a snake. Fucking Riley. I love Riley. Let's see. I may full blown. They should wear gloves maybe, because messing about. Now the palm will slightly go out for this one. That's maybe a 2. And one thing that I tend to do is I tend to not erase as much, or at least I try to not erase so often that I have to blow a lot of time and be erasing. I tend to will use my underlines to just pick, okay, this would be my proper search line. So in this case scenario, I would be using the underlines as sort of the spot where you would put the wrappings here. And then you would probably like work more things into it. Gotta work the nose. And I can always just dive into this with more pencils here. I can use a darker pencil with getting some darker hues. Like say, let's see, is my number 6 close by? Where are you? Like if I truly wanted to, I got my 6B somewhere in my pencil boxes. Ugh. Again, I have not used these pencils in a couple of years, maybe. 3B will work. Of course, you gotta sharpen. 6B. No, 7B. So dark, but I'll work with it. But yeah, if I really want to dive deeper with this fur here, like 0.7 would work right here. I'll probably like now this feels kind of waxy, but it's kind of working. And the fact that I'm able to do some stuff here also makes it more capable. Again, you are remembering that the light's going a certain direction. So, if you are using if you're shading and you're, deciding on shading, pick a direction. So if the light's here, light will be hitting her in this direction, which means all the shadows need to be in the right. So, thicker lines here. I like this. Yeah, most thicker lines should be in this direction if you can get away with it. More definition right here, more thick lines there. And that's how you're going to establish, hey, this is adherent to shadow. Is doing a simple thing like having a thicker line in one direction will be more than enough to kind of just say, hey, this is a shadow. And of course, you're doing other advanced stuff like having the ground also be, be adherent to things. Because, most shadows are from the sky and, most things are in the sun. So usually a good rule of thumb is to have your light source be top down. So going from top down, sort of. So I think it's a nice rule of thumb if you're like trying to be an artist and you don't know how you want to plan your shading. That's a nice rule of thumb, is just take a direction and stick with it. Like this freaking shadow over here. I got my lamp to the right, so all my shadows just going to the left and completely blocking out my drawing here. So yeah, let's see. And of course, with shading, you'll work in layers. You'll start with a lighter layer, so even if you mess up, you can still erase. And then you go darker because you decided, yes, this is indeed my correct light. I want to use this light to establish that it's all legit dark. I'm gonna see, probably like give her gloves like this, just so it's quite distinct. And since it's cloth and it's adherent to lights, it's over here. Dealing with swords round, so they'll be round like this. Metal's interesting because metal has the easiest bounce light, where most metal will be like this, but they'll be slightly darker in the middle because there's a slight bounce light on the surface. And that's with a lot of metal. In the comic books, it's very depicted like this, since it's only in black and white inking. And then you would use your hatching and feathering to kind of just establish more of that, because it's just in pen and ink. That's also a nice how do you sharpen that pencil? Oh, I use a knife. Just get a big knife. Where's my big knife? I got a knife. It's somewhere. Yes, let me get my knife. I'll show you my knife. It's really nothing. It's just a Zacto knife. Where the bloody hell is it? Wait, I could have lost the knife. If I lost my knife, there's gotta be some problems. Because that means something's loose in the house. I have my knife. Yeah, you're somewhere. Yeah, this one works. There it is. Are you working now? Are you actually working? Hello everyone. After OBS freaking crashed right next to me. Oh boy, come on. Everything's dead. Come on. Nothing's working. Are you good? Okay. I think things are back to normal. Huh. Goodness. Yeah, OBS, I guess because I'm filming a actual live action thing and not screen recording, things are kind of just going haywire. Anyway, I should probably just continue my rant. My long, talkative rant about, having a good pencil. So, I sharpen this pencil with a X-Acto knife, or in my case, a box cutter. I will usually use a box cutter, but I can't find it right now. But I have a X-Acto knife. You can pick this up like practically anywhere. Really sharp, and the way I do it is I sharpen it to the side. So take a pencil like this, and you know what? We'll demonstrate right here. And I'll be careful. Go like this, and you're kind of just going to the side, and try not to make too much of a mess. But you're getting a longer piece of lead by doing this, as opposed to actually sharpening it with a proper sharpener. Because I got like a little sharpener here, but it won't sharpen like this can sharpen. And even though it's slower, you're still getting a longer lead because you're just sharpening it by hand. Yeah. And the reason I prefer using the box cutter over a X-Acto knife is precisely because it's a bit of a pain in the ass to actually sharpen this. And it makes a bit of a mess. So, move this away real careful. Get one of my paintbrushes to kind of just nudge this off gently. So this paper's kind of just messed anyway, so. How you're able to do this is you're getting such a nice sharp point. And you can use a sheet of sandpaper, simple thing like here. And you'll kind of just rub on the sandpaper to kind of just sharpen it to an actual point. So, if you're feeling like, oh, this ain't gonna make my point for me, you'll at least have a working piece of sandpaper here. Now that's a short technique on kind of just how you would sharpen your pencil like a more professional artist. And The advantage of that is you can basically just get access to blends and blend much faster. You could draw on the side of your pencil much easier than if you had a mechanical pencil. Now let me see if I can't get one of my mechanical pencils. Here's one of the typical mechanical pencils, and you can't really do much with a mechanical pencil. You can try, but you'll risk breaking your lead a little. Probably, mess up your lead, and even then, it just still feels tedious compared to actually getting big, bold strokes. And I'm even lifting with like these bold strokes. That's what's pretty great about that. With a mechanical pencil, you kind of have to be more precise. And of course, if you go to a like high school art class, you'll know that these different pencils have different hardnesses. So a black bing pencil, I believe this is a 2B hardness. Mechanical pencil, all of them are HB. They're typical number 2 pencil hardness. You can find that in school. Typical yellow pencil hardness. Stradlighter or Stadler. This is a 7B pencil, so it's freaking dark and super soft. And then I believe this one is my lead holders, and I keep this as a mechanical pencil variant of these pencils, and I keep a bunch of other refills like this for my lead holder with this. And like other pencils, they also have a different softness. 6B really soft, really dark, and you have 4B, 2B. The smaller the number, the harder the pencil. So it goes from 6B to 4B to 2B, and it gets lighter from there. And then once it basically gets past like 1B, it turns into H's. And a typical mechanical pencil, that's an HB. So HB, typical mechanical pencil, that's roughly a middle grade thing. But then once you do that, you'll get to the H hardnesses, and that's where it's just truly hard, really light. It's great for more precise mechanical pencil drawings. I believe architects use more H pencils often because they're doing more precise lines. So I usually will not use H pencils because they're just way too hard and I have a heavy hand. So I basically just use the B pencils, and that's basically how I just get really good solid lines. And boom. And you can, with the 2B pencils specifically, they're a nice happy medium between really hard while still able to get some nice soft blends. So that's kind of why I enjoy the 2Bs. And let's see. How do you do abs again? So, on the rib, then you start ab 1. That's about the rib here. Typical. All right, I'm sort of like improvising most of this stuff here, where you have basic ab stuff, and you're able to kind of just fill this in nice and fast. Like, the one thing that's really good about just having a lead this large is that you can just fill stuff just super fast. And one thing why I still like I guess, using traditional pencils is I have the freedom to just hold my pencil however I want. I was taught how to hold my pencil like this, then like this. Most people who learn how to draw, they'll learn to draw like this, like how they write. So mechanical pencils are more for people who know how to write, and they usually start out, drawing things like this. And that's basically how people will learn how to draw. Then, when you actually go to art class, you'll learn how to draw much faster because you're able to draw with your entire arm, like with your giant buff shoulder. And as you do that, I'm just gonna flip for a second. You're able to make long, fast lines no problem, as opposed to kind of struggling to use your wrist. And you'll have a limited motion of stuff with your wrist and stuff like that. Are your colored pencils sharpened like that? Yeah. I think I still have colored pencils. Yeah, I do have sharpened pencils. I don't use them as often, but I kind of do use them. Yeah. These are heckin' old. But, yeah, just like other pencils, I use sharpened pencils. And, while they're not sharpened like that, it's the same idea. In fact, that's basically how people do well with colored pencils, is they're able to do this. And then they can layer things more and more as they go. Plus, they can layer with more colors. Have nice blends. Of course, it takes a whole lot of patience to actually make a smooth, solid surface with colored pencils. Like, I don't have the patience for that stuff. But I've seen some art on Instagram where, people are able to do fairly realistic texture with just colored pencils. And it takes a lot of patience to do that. And of course, I sort of don't have the time to do that because I'm already ADHD-ing all over the place. But, with regular graphite pencils, which is, the black or, the gray pencils here, it's the same principle overall. You sharpen it with, sharpen it on the side, and you'll get really good pencils. Fellow ad brother. Fellow AD brother. Yeah, okay. I think most people, I think it's less ADD and more just impatience, really. But then again, apparently I was diagnosed with Asperger's. I don't even know. It's one of those things where it's like, you're kind of like dealing with weird mental issues and all that stuff. And I think a lot of it is kind of just you're sort of bored of the boring ass material in school and stuff like that. And I totally get it. There's a lot of boring stuff, but if you can find the I guess, the brain flow to it, you can actually get into it. I've recently started reading more often. And I initially started with the Wings of Time or the Wings of Fire series, and at first it started out slow because I hadn't read anything. Like, I haven't read a book without pictures in years, and so it's kind of like I'm going from nothing to, well, a middle school book, I'd say. And because I started with a middle school book and nothing like I guess War and Peace or something like that, I was able to actually just get back into reading on the regular. And even though I thought I would never have time to read, I ended up just returning to just ferociously reading. And part of that is probably due to the fact that Wings of Fire is a well-written book. Like, I love those novels. I'm only through the first 6 novels. But yeah, Wings of Fire, it's great. But I'd say it's half to do with the decent writing, half to do with the fact that I guess my brain is remembering how to read words on paper. That's one notable thing when it comes to learning how to do, I guess, slow-paced things and have the patience to handle that, is taking that short amount of time to kind of just get into that flowing meditative state of, just calmness. Trying to, obviously, you reduce the distractions in your life if, you make sure that you're not distracted by, work stuff, phone, family, anything else. If you have kids, kind of just talk to them and say, hey, I gotta step out for a bit. I'll be right back. And, don't deal with pets. If you got a pet, walk your pet, or if you, leave your food in. Try to reduce the amount of distractions. I read a lot of Wikipedia history articles. I read the pages for every Pope and Egyptian pharaoh. And, that's also another thing. Also, finding the topic that you're actually interested in helps a lot, too. Like, if you can find a topic that you're actually interested in, that also will help alleviate the boredom when it comes to reading stuff that's, quote, hard and, difficult to read. Like, maybe like a physics book or something like that. It can be done. Like, and a lot of physics papers are written with other people in mind. They usually are not. Usually, physics scientists aren't so up their butt that they're just going to make a thing exclusively for other physicists. Like, they'll at least make sure to explain it like they're 5. Because, that's actually a better indicator of someone being smart than using all the techno babble. Is if you're able to explain complicated stuff simply, then you'll establish that you understand it the most, because you can basically just explain it much simpler than if you're just going to inundate everyone with all the techno babble in the world, and you're kind of like trying to just flex how many words you actually know instead of explaining the damn concept. Words are good, the complicated words are good for, marking unmarked things. Like, if it's a whole different species of I'm now like going from physics to biology. Okay, if it was a what's a good like physics thing? If it was like a new type of gravity that wasn't the typical, things that go down must go, like things that go up must go down. Like, if it was a new type of gravity, it would have a new name. But if it was similar to all the other gravities, like Gravity 2, the Squeakquel. And if it was like that, it would actually be named that. But that's only in specifying that it's the different gravity. But if you're using a complicated word where a simpler word would do just as fine, at that point you're kind of being a pretentious asshole. Like, you're just flexing on how smart you are instead of actually just explaining the point. And here I'm kind of just futzing about with, just the shading and stuff like that. I see a lot of I see Sonic Riders do this, where it's like it has like cool cross hatching effect and it's off, but of course you can always do something like this. Show the roundness of the hoo-ha, you know what it's called. I am losing my mind. The vajayjay. It's the you know what it's called. I can't remember things anymore. It's the vajayjay and the vagina. That's what it's called. I know words. Okay. And I'm kind of just improvising what this armor really is, because like she has this weird thigh armor thing. We're also just making it dark right here. And I should probably also mention that I'm sketching on Bristol. This is a Strathmore bristle board. It's it's a fairly smooth surface. Most other papers will have like a rougher surface, and that's better for sketching specifically. I believe this one's a multimedia surface and it's slightly rougher. You can't see it, but if you go to an art store, supply store, and kind of just crack open sketchbooks and kind of feel the paper, you'll be able to understand which things just feel rougher, which things feel smoother. And one thing that's really important about, I'd say, doing more professional drawing, I guess, is knowing what kind of papers you prefer drawing. Because some papers are good for certain mediums and stuff like that. Like smoother paper, thicker paper like bristlepboard is good for pen ink. Won't bleed through the paper like if you were taking a Sharpie to the paper. Now I think if you take a Sharpie to this paper, it still will bleed slightly. If I remember right. Sharpie's weird, but doing stuff like that, if you're using a rough toothy paper, you'll also mess around with your inks more. Your ink lines won't be as smooth. They'll feel fuzzy. You'll feel fuzziness to your ink lines. And there's a whole bunch of different ways that paper can really make a difference to the art that will mess you up. Yeah, doing this, of course, you can always use the rubber eraser to kind of just get a good, precise erase. And I'm sure you can see that real well. Get nice, precise. There we are. And you can probably just use the edge to and just blur it out. Here. Establish some distance. Here. Gets there in the distance. Toe claws, fill that in. You could probably like take my feet down here too. And yeah, it's a pretty straightforward pose. Obviously, you need to tighten the hand a little bit more. And obviously, you're looking at 20 years of experience here. I cranked this out like a fully made pencil drawing, and I'd say probably 30 minutes if I'm looking at the stream right. Yeah, roughly 30 minutes. That looks like a Sasha to me. Why the hell not? He'll be named Sasha. Okay, Sasha. That will kind of work. Sasha Cloudbreak. Cloudbreak. I spelled blade wrong. Now it's a unique name. If you spell something wrong in the name, that just makes the name more unique. Yes, played the Elden Ring wolf. I still have never played Elden Ring. I look at people playing on PC and I yearn because my machine runs like crap. I own a potato. My PC can use Photoshop, that's all. Like, it cannot play any games, or it can play games at an extremely limited capacity. I'd have to lower my PC settings to play some games, but in general, they just do not run well. But yeah, I can let this go. And yeah, so far so good. I have penciled in a basic pencil sketch just right off the bat. Very nice hair. Got magic and DPS just together. Maybe yeah. If you ever want to build or buy a PC, hit me up. I'll help you pick stuff out. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I am in the process of, I guess, researching PC stuff. And I do need to save money to kind of just get myself work on PC stuff, because there's a lot of other stuff that I need to spend my money on. Save my money to get a new car, because the repairs are getting to a point where it's now becoming a bit of a pain in the ass to actually repair stuff in the car. But yeah, PC, it's cheaper, but I'll be working on my work PC, so that would make sense. I'll probably hit you up because yes, I absolutely need to get this PC working. Anyway, I'll ink this drawing fast. Return to my regular scheduled inking process. It can be expensive, but I spent $800 on graphics card alone. Oh yeah. I think the one thing that also totally ticks me off is, well, all the crypto bros and stuff like that, it's ballooned the prices of graphics cards. That royally ticked me off with that. And it kind of put me off of hunting for a new graphics card. I managed to find a graphics card at a, basically a hobby shop. Like, it wasn't a, like an actual, like, wasn't a Comp USA prize electronics. It was just a, used PC store with, like, all the garbage stuff. And I managed to get, I think a 710, that's what it was called. I'd have to look it up in my, other stuff. Oh yeah, it's a fucking old card, but it was good enough to let me put a third monitor on my computer. Pretty happy with that. This is the right one? Okay. But yeah, I've been, I hope to at least have a PC that can, at least run games. That's one thing. But also, I wanted to be able to run Clip Studio Paint to a point where my brushes won't slow down. Because I've put together that the reason why I don't like sketching and drawing digitally is because my brushes lag so much. Like, it's nigh unbelievable how much my brushes lag. And it's hit a point where I'm like, okay, I'm starting to realize that I can't really do broad washes or big kind of just going quiet here. Can't really do like broad washes or big like sweeping lines because the brushes just lag so hard that it gets legit frustrating. Now that's one thing that I'm trying to remedy sooner or later is just have a spot to just upgrade and kind of just rework myself. I was gonna get just work with a new graphics card, but I was like, you know what? Let's just completely. Oh, I won't toss it. I'll probably sell the parts, but just start from scratch, go all the way from the beginning, and just make a whole new PC. And hopefully that'll at least make things much better with that. Not super familiar with Clip Studio, but I imagine it's lacking CPU or it's likely that. Like, that's likely lacking the memory and stuff like that. I'd say a lot of the 2D digital art programs, they're extremely CPU intensive. I'm seeing where it needs a lot of CPU resources in order to actually be worthwhile. Okay, you'll kind of work. Alright. Getting my hair down. I've been completely distracted on knocking this hair down, but I'm making it work. It's coming together. What was I saying about the PC? So yeah, Clip Studio Paint. I like it. Well, actually, no. I'm of two minds with Clip Studio Paint. That's mostly because I'm of two minds of digital art. On one hand, makes things super convenient to draw and fine, but on the other hand, I feel like it still doesn't look as good as my traditional art. That severely hinders me in general. Okay, I got you going here. Oh, okay. And then continue the rope trick here. Sorry, I'm kind of just going silent and kind of just losing my train of thought as I'm drawing and working on a whole new piece of jewelry that requires complete concentration, I suppose. That's another thing that's kind of just difficult about doing drawing streams is sort of speaking and drawing at the same time. And you don't even know if most of the stuff you're saying is really tutorial worthy. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying to make this interesting to work with, let's say. That'll work. Yeah, re-dip, re-up the dip. Up the dip. Okay. Okay, I'm just re-looking at my tracing here and just figuring out what this actually is. And honestly, this is not as efficient as I'd like for it to be. I think it's the fact that either a bristle board's not thin enough to justify this pencil, because I think I have a thinner piece of paper. Not in here. Where is my paper? Oh. Something more like printer. Oh! What the f- Oh! My chair tore. Can't fucking believe this. Okay. Now I'm just ticked. Alright. I'm gonna move my webcam because I want you to see this. Frick. So, my freaking chair tore off. Like, look at this. Like, I was sitting on this, minding my own business. It just flat out tore out. Like, I cannot believe this. Absolutely devastating. You know, I am just ticked. I'm not happy today. Hopefully, hopefully the stream will at least not be as crap as I am peeved, very peeved. Oh boy. I'm now going to sit in a uncomfy chair, so I'll be right back. I need to change chairs. Okay. Finally back. Have a smaller chair. I can barely fit in it. I feel like it's slightly tilting too. Not happy about this. And sorry. Today has been a slightly crap day, but I'm gonna try and get through this. Oh yeah. My chairs, I don't know how that works. Ugh. Crap, I lost a screw too. Yeah, sorting through screws. Ugh. There's no things that just go wrong. What was I doing again? Crap. Okay. Paper. So, this is printer paper. This is Bristol board. Printer paper is thinner than Bristol board, which means it's easier to actually see through this drawing than Bristol board. So that was my initial, I guess, bother is that Bristol board is thick, but too thick for me to actually use this as a light table film board. This is wobbly. But you know what? I think I'm gonna get this done and try to at least get as much of this inking as possible. Ugh. Okay. Oh yeah. Bristol board is thick and my ass is thicker. You know, it's one of those things where it's like sometimes you just have problems and you're kind of like, you know, maybe I should just made like exercise enough to lose enough weight and don't have to worry about difficult weight issues like this, because yeah, that's absolutely going to screw me in the long run. But yeah, counting this among the piles of stuff that I need to spend money on getting an actual proper chair. Here, getting a gamer chair is actually not worth it. Like an actual, the Major League Gaming whatever chairs, where now am I able to just tape this together? I got my tape with me. There you are. Tape you together. Blah. Major League Gaming chair, where apparently it's not actually a good chair. Like, they're not set up for actual long-term sitting. So all those sponsored chairs aren't actually good. I should probably get enough tape. Just keep you together. You got a big grandpa office chair, like sitting in a Cadillac. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, an actual, like, boss office chair would probably be good. Because I believe the gamer chairs are made in style of race car seats. And while race car seats are good for, all the G-force stuff, it's not good for just sitting still as a lug on your gamer seat, showing your titties. So that's fine and dandy for, actually driving and stuff like that, but not good for actual sitting. So that's kind of just the little issue when it comes to gamer chairs, I suppose. But yeah, probably just go look up actual proper office chairs. I know there's a few office supplies out in Chicago that are, well, not office supplies, but kind of just office rental, office, people in offices will usually try to sell off their office equipment for cheap because their building closed down and they want to get rid of their stuff ASAP. That's usually the technique on how to find good office equipment. Just go on like eBay or Craigslist to find out if there's someone kind of just trying to sell it in, for cheap in the cheaper office supply spots. Power, yeah. What time is it? 8:40. Ah, well, I think I could make this time. I should probably just talk about what I'll be doing next week, or at least this coming weekend. I shall be walking C2E2. Not tabling there, but I'll be walking through the place. So if you're living in Chicago, I will be walking there and I'll be experiencing all the fantastic e-celebs. And by e-celebs, I mean comic creators, because I don't give a shit about celebrities actually showing up at these things. But yeah, gonna do that. Probably just meet with friends, say hi to other artists I know. Go to panels. Probably hit up a writing panel because I didn't want to learn a bit more about getting myself to stick with ideas more often than actual, I guess. I think the one thing that I struggle with writing is just sitting down, writing, and not cringing when I edit. So that's kind of just one of those things that I gotta get myself to not flip out on. That's a giant thing that I want to achieve at C2E2. And also kind of just figure out how I can... Okay. Figure out how I can just do more just comic stuff in general. I know I'm kind of just working on a game, but sometimes I feel like, oh, this is taking just so damn long that I just work on something else. And, you know, it can be really easy to kind of just lose focus and feel like, oh, this video game's taking more than a month to complete. And I feel just like everything's just going in slow motion, especially in this age of I need to have content out now, ASAP. It can be really easy to kind of just look at other people's work and feel like you're just completely inadequate because everyone's working on a way cooler project than you, or producing way more interesting art than you, or kind of just doing... You're feeling like you're just going much slower than everyone else because you're not producing your thing as fast as other people. And it's one thing to kind of just say that, you know, there's no rush, but it's another thing to be stuck in this attention, I guess, economy where you sort of are competing with video games and movies and cat pictures and everything. So it's kind of like people can look at your comic or they can just go look at a YouTube video. So it's kind of difficult to really not feel that pressure sometimes. Yeah, all artists and cons seem to be in a mess. Oh yeah, I'd say so. Or at least all the, probably the notable ones, I'd say. Let's see, C2E2, Anime Central, Midwest Fur Fest, Anime Midwest, Anime Magic. It's now called Fan Expo, but there's also Wizard World. I believe I'm talking about the large ones, I'd say. But you also have smaller ones like the Chicago Alternative Press Expo. Or wait, no, it's the Chicago Alternative Comics Expo because it's CAKE. That's the acronym. But then you have that. Plus you have a lot of library shows. I go to a lot of library shows. And that's kind of just how I do a majority of my con circuit, where I will go to a lot of library meetups, high schools, art community centers, local city fairs, art fairs, that kind of stuff. So even if I'm not doing strict comic arts, and even through extension, also tabletop conventions are also a thing. Like you can always like go do the tabletop stuff, and that's kind of just how you can do that. What the heck does this actually look like? Huh, okay. It's just a rope. Doing like tabletop stuff, fighting game tournaments. I know my friend Chris tends to go to a lot of fighting game tournaments to sell art there. And I think that'd probably be good for if you did a lot of fan art for fighting games. But I am not a person who does fan art as often as people would want me to do. So fan art it's okay. Like, if you're a person who does the fan art stuff, I recommend the fighting game convention, especially do fan art of fighting game characters. Obviously anime shows, if you do fan art of anime stuff. Let's see. Tabletop conventions are good for, if you do a lot of fantasy art, of course. Science fiction conventions. The few science fiction conventions I go to, ChiCon and Capricorn. Those two are more author-centric. Like, they're more for people who do writing as opposed to actual artists and wrong and stuff like that. But that isn't to say that there aren't people who don't do art. Like, they have an art show there, and it's pretty nice. They have like a big rap gallery and stuff like that. So kind of just one of those things where I guess where all the sci-fi cover artists kind of just show their original. So that's pretty nice. But it's pretty limited for me, I'd say, because I'm a comic artist, and from what I've gathered when I'm there, from what I gather at those shows, I feel like I don't think people really like comics per se as opposed to novels. So yeah, Sky seems to do well at fighting games. Yeah. He does tell me that he does better at fighting game shows, and I know he's going to Anime Central, and he got accepted in Anime Central when I did it, which is wild to me. But you know what? Good on Chris. He got that W, and I'll see him at Anime Central because whether I table there or not, I'm still going to be going there because my friends will be there. So, Chris is my friend. I will meet him and we will chat a bit. I'll try to convince him to go to the tiny shows, even though he's like, bro, I'm not going to sell at tiny shows. And I'm like, it's not about selling. It's about getting your word out there. Is Anime Central in DC? No, Anime Central is in Chicago, where I live. So Anime Central, C2E2, both of those are in Chicago. Let's see. What anime cons in DC? What's it? Not MomoCon. That's in Georgia. KatsuoCon, I think. I think KatsuoCon is in. If I'm pronouncing that right. And I can't remember off the top of my head, but those shows. There's a lot of shows, but I think DC specifically, I think it's pronounced KatsuoCon, I think. Or maybe I'm thinking about something else. Let's see. I know there's one in August you might go to. Okay. I mean, it's always just generally nice to just go out to these little conventions because, it's nice to kind of just get out, meet, and chat with people actually in person, not just online, and they'll realize that the world is much nicer than the internet depicts it. It's always nice to actually just go online, actually just, touch grass, it's always good to actually just go out, go to nature, touch grass, realize that things are going swell, and realizing that I've actually totally aborted this. I'll let this go for now. This light table's actually getting real hot. Alright. Really got this going. Got the thigh muscle there. Get what the actual specific name for this thigh muscle is, but I'm gonna do it here. Get the wrinkles of the cloth here. all torn and stuff. It worked. That worked. I like buff the wrinkles here. Let's see. Alright, things are slightly working. And I'd say I'm nearly done with inking. There's still a bit of a... There's still a bit of cross-hatching I can get done here. Get the cloth here. Thigh. Fur here. We're just really going in on the brush here. And the more you ink in general, and the more you kind of just get used to working with your tools, the faster it gets to actually ink. Yeah, she couldn't get proper pants, but that wouldn't fit her aesthetic. Oh no. Also, pants are for barbarians, so... No. No, she probably could, like, rock pants. Like, there's really nothing saying that I can't just give her pants. Nothing's wrong with a jeans mage. In fact, I recently read well, actually, I didn't recently read, but I read a urban fantasy book series called that's the Seventh Age, and that's a nice urban fantasy series by Rick Hines. He recently came out with a tabletop campaign called the Black Ballad, and yeah, that's been pretty nice. Been like flipping through it a little on my lunch breaks and stuff, and I just, think about, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if I could actually do a tabletop campaign? And my friends aren't like stuck at their jobs. We could actually just hang out and just mess around with like a role playing. That'd be nice. Base Roman is evil. Oh yeah. Yes, the fucking Roman Empire. Yeah. That's the funny Italian language. Can't even do anything great without biting off the Greeks. Yeah, there are also a few fightings that apparently, like, there were a lot of Romans that also ripped off the Egyptians too. So you have like Roman versions of like Horus and Anubis and stuff like that just running around. I think there's like a statue of them someplace in like I think Naples? Is it Naples? You know what? I'm not gonna look it up right now. Everyone's ripped off someone else at one point. Oh yeah. And yeah, of course, every like god is a god variant of every other god and yada yada. Human theology, history of mankind, yada yada. History is bananas when you actually think about it. And I'm pretty partial to like learning about history. Mostly like learning about more like absurd history. I like listening the Constant podcast. Like, it's the podcast called The Constant. And, it's basically just about history's greatest blunders. It's kind of fun to kind of just learn about stuff in that context with Now, kind of just seeing how people were trying to, like, how did they get the bright idea to make that battle plan happen? Oh, I mean, make that battle plan happen. And so you're kind of like seeing stuff like that. Fur would end here. So most of the fur, thick the fur here at this end because that's where the shadow is. Here. Ink. So you're not completely bored. Cross hatching here. That's where the forget, like, okay, the fur pattern, I think it is. Fur pattern, knees. This is where the knee shading will be. Then you use a thin brush to establish where the fur pattern will be. And just use the bold lines. You gotta just decide. This is knees. This is thigh. This is the top of the knee. Then this spots the thigh. You're kind of like figuring out, and this is mostly like a lot of ink practice and studying, where you're trying to figure out where's the light going and how do you depict the texture. Because this is what it is. It's a fur texture. So you're depicting that while also like trying to figure out, okay, what's a good like way to depict the fur texture adhering to light. I think the one thing that I made a mistake on is starting from the bottom and not from the top, because I should just start from the top because the ink will dry from top to bottom and I won't risk smudging. So I'm gonna have to really do some ingenuity things. And this was actually supposed to be, oh yeah, forgot about how her mage staff was supposed to look as well. And once you master brush painting, apparently people say that you have more control over your lines over a nib. So far I kind of doubt that, but then again, I am looking at the absolute pinnacle artists who are like, they know the medium inside and out. And they know how to freaking draw. Like, you know, Bill Watterson's a damn good brush inker. Like Jeff Smith, pretty good with brush inking. Charles Schultz, really good with brush inking. And these guys, they are obviously top tier artists, of course. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. for me. Gonna dip the stream. Yeah, see ya. Yeah, I'm nearly done, so yeah, gotta get this done. Probably like do some cross hatching. Maybe get in a wash and then just wrap for now. But yeah, get this down. Just going. Good. Like thicker here. Step. Yeah, it's started kind of rough, but things have gotten much better, I'd say. I'll admit I'm usually not as messy when it comes to drawings like this. But, you know, I'm kind of like getting myself used to, one, working with light table, and two, trying to get myself to loosen up and work with looser drawing strokes. I'm trying to loosen up, man. Plus, it's nearly 9. I want to get to sleep myself. Blech. Really just getting this down. Gotta remember that. The light's going from up here, because actually, if both these sides are glowing, it would be more of a, if both these sides were glowing, it would actually work more like this, where you have like the cylinders here. You have 2 different light sources. The shading would actually be here, then the feathering here, and probably like feather would be like this. That'd probably be how it would go truly. But I have completely messed up the lighting, and right now, at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. Anywho, back to working on this and seeing if I can't just get this done, because I am a little... I think I'm kind of just rushing to get you done, because I am feeling tired, actually. Yeah. One thing that's... I think the one thing that people don't talk about when it comes to, you know, feeling bad about their work or feeling unmotivated to do art is a lot of artists don't get enough sleep. Like most artists, it's even internet artists, you know, even like artists who aren't in studios and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of artists online don't just take more time to sleep. You know, it's always like, okay, I'm going to wake up at the ass end of like 5 in the morning and stuff like that. And I'm being hypocritical because I do that too. I think for the sake of this example, I'll just say it right here, where you have artists, they're probably recovering from they probably went to bed at like 2 in the morning. And they're probably waking up at maybe like 4 or 5. So they end up running on 2 hours of sleep, trying to crank out 5, maybe 12 commissions in that day, because, you know, they need to make that money. And, you know, they're kind of just constantly overworking themselves and constantly just not asleep and stuff like that. And of course, that's probably like the actual professional artists. Probably like thinking about maybe the high school artists and stuff like that, who are like, oh, I'm sort of hobby, sort of professional. I like working with my friends and stuff like that. But I'm talking like the actual, you know, people who want to, you know, get that clout and, you know, get noticed and all that fun. I'm talking like probably artists like, and obviously it ain't a perfect formula for solving all your art problems, of course, but taking some more time to get some rest is always just a good way to kind of just get yourself to not feel like you're a garbage ass artist, because you're probably not as garbage as you think. You're probably just hella tired and you're suffering from being really tired and with art block and you don't know what the hell you're doing because you're just out of it. Let's see. Oh, I know what this was supposed to be. It's supposed to be your hair. It's supposed to be part of the cape. Okay. Alright. I think I'll create the rest of the staff. I'm just going all in. There we are. And we'll probably just texture the leaf tone here. Bada boom. And probably like put another black tone here to kind of just indicate this shoulder is supposed to be thicker shadows compared to leg here. Okay. Of course, this is completely drying. The reason I chose acrylic ink is because it dries hella fast, and I'm right. You know what? Turn it. Just completely turn it. I made a mistake turning it like this, but yeah, this is getting hella messy. All right. Tail down here. And now for just basically just more ego checking. I'll get the hair cake down. Make the spikes nice and wide so you can tell it's supposed to be more of a large cape. Yeah, you can probably just hear the squeaking from here. This, like here. And this is probably a tangent, but I'm honestly just so tired that I'm just gonna let that go. Boom, boom. Okay, that's sort of looking good. Wee bit of probably should did more of a wider crosshatch right here. So far, so good, I'd say. Okay. Wash this. Wash you. I just clean you just so far so good with you. And now we're just gonna put the spot blacks here because I'm not. We're gonna use the crap brush because it's a nice big fat ass mop. Absorbs so much. And we're just gonna go in. We're just gonna go all in. Big, disgusting brush. And one thing I'm kind of just noticing is that my acrylic ink is not as flat of an ink as I'd like for it to be. That's, I guess, one weakness when it comes to acrylic ink is, well, it does dry fast. It doesn't dry even. And that can be a problem for someone who likes having nice, crispy, black lines and solid blacks. Also, this brush can be hella loose, so that can be an issue. This brush is not very good, I'd say, but I kind of just use it as a use it because I think this was the first brush I ever got. I think art instruction schools gave me this brush to learn brush inking, and it's pretty all right. It's good for, I'd say, line art in general. Like, you can work with this. Like, you can make fairly thin lines. It's just hella. It's not very good for washes and thick painting. So maybe it probably could be just the acrylic. The acrylic's not very, doesn't cover well, I don't think. Plus, it dries so fast that I think it'll leave things streaky. You know, I've always wanted to try the world's blackest black. Like, it's the Stuart Semple thing, where he basically made a paint that's the blackest paint in the world. And it's like legit light absorbing paint. Like, once you paint on it, it looks like there's a hole in space. And that's, you know, obviously that fucking rules. And it would be insane to have that for like comic ink and stuff like that. I would love to meet an inker who would use that. Like, I would love to meet maybe like Daniel Close, see like how he would handle using the world's blackest black or something. I don't know if Daniel Close will be at C2E2, but that'd be rad. Because I know what's his name? Chris Ware. I know Chris Ware and Alex Ross live in Chicago. Or at least they live in Illinois. So it's highly likely that they'll be there because, you know, they got a free pass to go there. You know, it'd probably be interesting to ask them such insane questions. The world's blackest bullet. I think I'll probably just let this go for now, or better yet, no, I'll just let this go. Still need to sign this though, so let me just get my mini fountain pen because I just want to get this down and sign you. And what I like to do is I like to sign in such a obviously conspicuous place that even if you cropped my pic, you would have to crop a significant body part in order to crop out my signature. MF24, that's Mastafran, and then the year. And I've kind of just gone off that because if you just look up Ryan Francis online, you'll get a college basketball player. But if you look up Mastafran, you'll at least get either my Instagram or my website. So, getting a large website like that has been pretty good. And yeah, this was a pretty decent drawing day, you know, despite my chair fucking breaking on my fat ass. And yeah, I think that'll do for now. I'll probably go back to I'll either do another traditional stream maybe in the weekend, or I'll probably just go back to working digital for today. And, you know, it's neither here nor there. Anyway, you know, next week will be after C2E2, and then probably some more stuff. This is Mastafran, and thanks for stopping by. Have a good night.